China's been a shite again. What is it like? They are going through like some sort of like weird cultural revolution thing where like they're going like full trad and banning absolutely everything, man. These like correct values. China to ban video games with effeminate males and gay relationships in latest crackdown on freedoms. And you have it based, absolutely based. Like, no, right. It's absolutely just shitting all over freedom. But then again, like, it's China. It's China. Of course, they are doing stuff like this. Um, China will ban video games that include effeminate males and gay relationships in the latest crackdown on freedoms, it has been reported. A leaked memo revealed Beijing no longer views games as entertainment, but instead as a form of art that are responsible for promoting correct values and an accurate understanding of history and culture. Correct values. We've heard that before, haven't we? There's a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people saying that we should be instilling the correct values on the next generation. I've heard that phrase before. Where have I heard that before? I'm just saying, it escapes me. I can't think. Can't think of where I've heard it. But yeah, basically, if designers want to make video games, they can put whatever the fuck they want in them. The market will decide whether or not they want to buy the game. Right? That's fine. Like, as far as gay relationships and effeminate males being in video games, I don't personally care. Right? I've played Genshin Impact. Oh shit, Genshin Impact's fucked. Now that I think about it, China just shit all over its own fucking spyware game. But yeah, like no longer views games as entertainment, but they views them as an art form. Like they're both. Like I would like video games primarily are entertainment. They are entertainment, but yeah, they are a form of art as well. Like a lot, like especially games that like tell a story. Like I would view them as an art form. But for promoting the correct values, well, who gets to decide what the correct values are? Not the individual for himself, but the government gets to decide it for him, right? These children should not be playing video games. They should be in the factory. Should be in the factory making the glorious great nation of China strong. So, why do they want so many people working in factories? What do they have planned? The new rules will forbid video games from involving the conquest of barbarians, oh right, so barbarians winning against civilization, or altering the history of the Nazis and Imperial Japan. The South China Morning Post reports. What do you mean, like altering the history of Nazis? I don't get it. Are they talking about like Medal of Honor, where like you do like a spy mission? Like one of my favorite missions in the old Medal of Honor games is where you had the silent pistol and you had to like go around and shout papers, where are your papers? You flash your wee papers and you could walk into the building. That was one of my favorite missions. Is this sort of well, that mission never actually happened, so you're altering history? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that even means. Altering the history of the Nazis and Imperial Japan. The Imperial Japan stuff, I get. I understand that. Yeah. It's, yeah, China and Imperial Japan have a bit of a rocky history. Yeah, Japan just pranced through China, committing war crimes as it went. Yeah, there's a certain was it Unit 437, which I'm going to cover in a video one day. I'm definitely going to cover it in a video one day. It'll get demonetized, but I'll cover it in a video one day. China's communist chiefs can censor anything which violates the country's core socialist values, decreed by the government. The government gets to decide what are the correct values and decide the core values, and then it can ban, delete, get rid of, censor anything that does not line up with these values, such as the nature of authoritarian governments, which is why I don't understand why so many people, especially on the left, are quite happy to let our government do the same thing. Because anyone, all those little, the peons, the plebs out there that are advocating for big government, you know that you don't get to decide the core values or the correct values. The government does. And soon you will build the government up to a point where it's going to stop listening to you and you won't be useful to them anymore. And they will just go, yeah, well, what are you going to do about it? We're nice and big and powerful now, and there is fuck all you can do about it now. So stop. Stop, please. Please stop. And have already slapped strict rules on content ranging from TV shows to movies and music. Yes, effeminate men were also banned from all TV and movies as well in China, as well as homosexuals as well. The latest crackdown comes after the nation limited children to 3 hours a week of online gaming back in August in an attempt to stifle addictions. The leaked guidelines have now set out a clear set of instructions for the game developers in China and those who want to trade in the Chinese market, and to all of those games companies that absolutely cucked themselves out so that they could get into the Chinese market. Well, play stupid games. Characters must have a clear gender, and storylines are prohibited from having blurred moral boundaries. No, that's helpful to the story. No, you get basically the character does something that he thinks is for the best, but he knows is going to cause some shit in the process. Like, that's good. I like that stuff. No, that's part of storytelling. That's boring. If regulators can't tell the character's gender immediately, the setting of the characters should be considered problematic and red flags will be raised. God's sake. Video games which encourage players to eliminate barbarians could be chastised for spreading colonialism, while featuring Japanese warlords could be interpreted as glorifying militarism and jingoism. Glorifying militarism? China, come on. Glorifying militarism, come on now. Come on. Games can't distort facts or deliberately provoke controversy, and historical figures with established narratives must not be refashioned added. So basically, no playing around with house. Skyrim. Skyrim, there's no place. There's no such place as Skyrim. People can't do dragon shouts. This is banned. You're not allowed to distort facts. Like, fuck off, man. Imagine living in China, how boring it must be. Other games which give players the choice between being good and evil will also be forbidden, as authorities don't think games should give players this choice. This must be altered, the memo continued. That's the point of video games. You can choose to be an arsehole or you can choose to be a good guy, right? Because it's not real life, it's a video game, right? I, a lot of the time, play bad characters in video games, right? Where I'll rip people off and fuck them over. You know, I would be the type of character where we would all break into the vault, and then when I'm walking out with the loot, I would just close the vault behind me with like everyone's still inside, and I've got all the jewels and gold, and I'd be like bye bye, and then I'd go away and keep it all for myself. Right? In a video game, I absolutely would fucking do that because I don't care about these people because there's some pixels on a fucking screen because it's a video game. Would I do that in real life, however? No, I would not, because that's a shitty thing to do. I love how I went for it's a shitty thing to do to seal your friends in the vault instead of me, robbing a fucking vault. But you get what I mean. It's a video game. Just because you did something in a video game does not mean you would actually do it in real life. We're getting back to the old tried and true. Just because I run around going on a rampage in Grand Theft Auto doesn't mean I would do it in real life. And also, that rules out so many video games in China. The new gaming guidelines were shared in the wake of Chinese censors announcing that no new domestically produced games had been approved since July. So that, yeah, the Chinese gaming market is dead unless it wants to release games under like extremely strict regulations. No new imported games have been given the green light since June. The country's biggest gaming developers were warned of stricter regulations on content in a meeting on September the 8th. They were told those with the wrong value orientation, pornography and violence would be ousted. Technology developers were briefed to firmly boycott any ill culture such as money worshipping, effeminate males and boys' love. Fuck's sake. The gaming industry, worth a whopping $32 billion last year in China, that's about to fucking plummet, is a formidable opponent against Beijing and President Xi Jinping. Winnie the flu. Huge Chinese retailer JD.com removed 87 console games from their site last month, including the likes of Activision Blizzard Inc.'s Call of Duty and Nintendo's Animal Crossing New Horizons. Animal Crossings is banned in China. Sweet Jesus. Animal Crossings. They said they removed the titles as the games were unlicensed and unregistered. Yeah, bullshit. Over 30,000 gamers' accounts have been removed and 96,000 silenced over rule violations, the Guangzhou video game industry announced in its latest monthly report. Rule breaches include improper political remarks. Oh, that's oh yeah, the current American and British government. Oh, that's what's next. That's what's next. Doesn't stop at the racist speech. Improper political remarks. That's what they want. Superstition, rumour, pornography, vulgar content, cyberbullying, privacy breach, and discriminatory comments. Oh, but did you know, by the way, China's free speech laws didn't just happen overnight. There was a process. It started with certain things first. China didn't just go, boom, we're authoritarian now, boys, in one night. Rome wasn't built in a day. See, China's free speech laws, they actually started here. They started here. Discriminatory comments. Those were some of the first speech laws that got brought in China. Those were some of the first speech laws. And then it was all of these. It was all of these get brought in after the discriminatory stuff. All of these were brought in afterwards. And it was actually the original discriminatory comments laws that were expanded upon to bring in all of these. It's crazy, isn't it? That's really weird. It's really weird. It feels like our countries might be doing the same fucking thing. Guangzhou says it had tackled issues including historic nihilism, defaming heroic martyrs, terrorism, extremism, ethnic hatred, cult, and fraud. A self-regulation pack was published by 213 video gaming companies last month, promising to build up a safety line and boycott any ill content. We firmly ban illegal content such as politically harmful content, historic nihilism, pornography, and bloody terror. Was that just horror? Like a horror gore game, like Dead Space or something? That's fucking stupid. TV rules. TV shows promoting effeminate behaviour and actors with incorrect politics were also banned in September. The National Radio and Television Administration, that's one thing that they do in China, by the way, as well. If you don't have the right politics and you are not supportive of the party, you're not allowed to work. You're not allowed to work. Just the same as we are seeing just now with cancel culture. If you have the wrong politics, you're not allowed to work. The National Radio and Television Administration said that programs showing effeminate behaviour and warped content, Jesus, that's fucking vague, should be axed. Shows which focus on scandals, ostentatious wealth, and vulgar internet celebrities should also be stopped, the notice said. Unhealthy fan culture should be deterred and strict controls placed on programmes with voting segments, and any that encourage fans to spend money to vote should be forbidden. Authorities and state media have repeatedly lashed out at male stars who wear heavy makeup and project a feminine image, saying Chinese boys should become more manly. And adverts. Now this is something that basically China for too long was too liberal with their, with their media content that it allowed people to consume, because when people are distracted with other things, then they are not appreciating the great, glorious, shining sun. I fucking just whistled there. I didn't even know I could do that with my teeth. That's it. Great, glorious, shining sun, which is China, the Chinese nation, the Chinese government. There is only the Chinese Communist Party. Any time spent playing video games is time that could be spent raising the flag of communism, right? China says it's communist. It says it is. China's actually fucking Marx's nightmare. But yeah, and that's the path that it's going down now. It realised that people were broadening their horizons and becoming a bit more, free thinking, and China did not like that, because people that think ask questions, and the Chinese government does not like questions. There is only one ideology, one way of thinking, one thing that you only, basically this is the only thoughts you are allowed in your head, and China has doubled down on all of their already stringent laws to get rid of all of that. And as for, goes without saying with me, if you want to have gay relationships or effeminate men or any of that type of stuff in your TV show or video game or whatever, well, that's completely up to you. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression. It's your video game. You can have whatever the hell you want in it. However, obviously not in this case, because China gonna China.